From the host to Super Bowl 50 back in February of 2016, there's a look at the home of the 49ers, Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Washington football team and the San Francisco 49ers. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Back at the 18-yard line.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. They'll get 8, but they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive because that's not enough. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad.
At their own 15-yard line.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Naeem Hines, his first carry. The tackle by Eric Armstead.
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
They'll come out in a 4-receiver look. 3 men to the right side on 2nd and 6. He'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And they're set up in a golden position here right around the 10-yard line. Every week we hear talk about create turnovers. In particular, they wanted to force some fumbles. They got one right there.
And it shows you how the game has changed over time. It used to be good enough for a guy.
And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Raheem Mostert, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Niners have taken the early lead. Chase McLaughlin on for the extra point. And the 49ers grab a 7-0 lead.
Makes the score Niners 7. Washington.
Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
25-yard line.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Ball carrier.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Down.
Out of the gun now on third down. He'll find Hines out of the backfield. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
They'll look to throw here on first down. He's airing it out for Williams. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A gain of 6 there on first.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
2nd and 4. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And he gets it down to the 32. That one, a first down pickup of 8. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line.
Step on Diggs.
Okay, so now the question, how did he get that wide open?
Well, we both know that he shouldn't because from the time they handed out scouting reports before this game, he was circled, starred, everything. Find him, cover him. But sometimes you can scheme a guy open. You put the receivers in a bunch. Maybe you move some motion. Maybe you put them on the backside of a formation, and all of a sudden you've got a better matchup. Every now and then, the offensive guys, they figure a way to get him open, even with everyone keeping eyes on him.
And that's certainly a guy they want to keep trying to scheme open. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Option play, and Hill will keep it. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. He'll pick up 7 there on the first down keeper. A little do-it-yourself run right there, and a nice game.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get. So he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they continue to allow him to do that, they'll find their way taking what they can all the way to the end zone.
That leads us to a 1st and goal. It's a pickup of 8. They'll run with Mostert. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
A loss of 2.
The 49ers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. As they come up now, 2nd and goal. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. And he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
This Washington defense, they've stood tall the first two plays. Now 3rd and goal. They'll run with Mostert, and he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. It's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. They find themselves down 10-0 early after the interception on their opening drive led to a field goal.
So now they've got to pick up the mantle a little bit. You mentioned the team's down 10. They've helped contribute to that. How are they going to get their team back into this ball game? Run the offense that you think is going to be effective and execute it at a high level.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll drop to throw. That's caught by his tight end, Gerald Everett. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. The play began back at the 23, and they pick up 23.
First down, Washington.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Hines, and he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They'll try and set up the screen to Hines. And they'll get this across the midfield stripe, but still winding up short of the 1st down. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. So on 4th down, Washington going to call on Tress Way to punt it away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. The offensive penalty has us back where we started as they come up on a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. picked off by Troy Apke. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. When I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
Complete.
23 yards on the play. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by Emmanuel Mosley. And into the end zone. A pick six for the 49er D as they score the touchdown.
That was a nice catch, and not by the guy you thought it was going to be. How about the defender turning into an offensive player as soon as the ball hits his hands, and off he goes, off to the races, and into the end zone.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good, and that makes our score 17-0. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21.
Their own 21-yard line.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked by Emmanuel Mosley. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Eluding the pressure right. He'll try and run it. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down.
Well, he strung it out as far as he could, and I like the fact that he kept his eyes downfield, but he finally ran out of time and room. But I'll take that over forcing it downfield and possibly having it intercepted.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
That's going to be caught by Samuel. And they're going to stop him short of the first down as he's tackled at about the 21. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. He hit his first, this one from 38. And his kick is indeed good. And the lead now increases to 20-0. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. We haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
At their own 25-yard line.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys.
And the Niners get there and bring him down. Eric Armstead, the defensive end, will get credited for the sack.
A loss of 7 yards.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.
Mitch Wishnowsky to kick off.
Washington down on the scoreboard, but they are getting the football first here, and we are back underway on EA Sports. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone, and the half will begin with a touchback. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Flushed out right. And the ball is knocked out. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. And they came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me.
Now back to throw. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blow.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Raheem Mostert, his second touchdown of the night. And the Niners take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. And he's able to put it through.
Makes the score Niners 27. Washington.
Here is Wishnowsky to boot it away following the touchdown. Now this will make it into the end zone. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Good word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off near the 29. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown.
Chase McLaughlin lining up for the...
This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone, and he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
25-yard line.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful, because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation.
Brings up 3rd and inches.
Now it's Hines. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it's going to yield a new set of downs.
First down, Washington.
On first down, Hines. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Here we go. 54 is mine. 54 is mine.
To the outside, that's complete to Williams. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
And the Washington
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 25 yards to pick up there, and also a first down. Defense really kept him in check running the football in the first half. Maybe that'll be a spark for him here in half 2.
So 2 words come to mind for me. Resilient, because he has to keep bouncing back after some limiting runs. And how about relentless? Keep going, knowing that you may pop one, as he just did there.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. This is Hines. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Solomon Thomas there on the tackle.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
That is caught at the 7.
Complete.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
Brought down at the
Do you think after that last run they're thinking to themselves, we had to wait all day to play this night game, and we're still not able to run the ball the way we want to?
Yeah, this defense, they've risen to the challenge all evening long. And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. It's the fullback. His first touchdown on the year. And Washington able to close the gap just a bit. Aldrich Rosas on for the extra point. And the lead drops from 34 to 27.
makes the score Niners 34, Washington 7.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded near the back of the end zone. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Still well in control of this ball game despite giving up that touchdown a moment ago. And some space here. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
The 39-yard line.
One quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. This is Mostert. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. Get him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left for being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
Stepping up, he'll try and run. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
It's 4th down.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there.
37.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Fielded near the back of the end zone, and it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return.
25-yard line.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
Well, depending on the temperament of the head coach, he's either turning to the bench and screaming, "Where was that all game?" Or maybe he's just kind of keeping it to himself and saying, okay, it's something to build on, and a positive comes out of a bad game because those are going to happen from time to time. We'll see how he gets his team ready to go in the future. But that run right there, that's what they were looking for.
It's another 1st down on what will be a gain of 21 yards.
1st down.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Eric Armstead able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. On the delay, here's Hines. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down.
The tackle made at the 44-yard line.
It's Washington on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hines. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
3 yards. It's now 4th down.
Here's Tressway now. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. Pretty woeful there. Just 23 yards on the punt. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And they'll indeed take a knee. So the victory here for San Francisco, and it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any offense, no consistency, and they just took control.
So for the Niners, they move back over 500 now at 4-3. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for Washington, it's yet another loss as they've started out now 0-7. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in New Orleans against the Saints. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.